Have you ever seriously wondered what your dog is really thinking? Well, today we're going to try and find out. We are decoding the Barkcast, which is this amazing source that gives us a completely canine perspective on our very, very human world. So yeah, let's dive right in.
And this quote from the show's opening, it just perfectly sets the stage. It's funny, it's super charming, and it tells you right off the bat that you're about to hear a point of view that's, well, a little different.
So who are these masterminds behind the microphone anyway? Let's take a minute and get properly introduced to the canine commentators whose insights we're about to explore. Okay, so our hosts are Buddy, a super cheerful golden retriever, and Luna, who is a very sassy husky and apparently a self-proclaimed master of howls. And this dynamic is absolutely key, right? You've got Buddy's sunny personality, and it perfectly balances out Luna's, well, her more dramatic flair. It makes for a really, really fun conversation. And to really see this dynamic in action, let's just jump into the first big topic they tackle. It's a classic clash between dogs and their owners, the pure, undeniable joy of a really good mud puddle. This is the huge question that Buddy just throws out there. And from a dog's perspective, our reaction is a complete and total mystery. Why on earth do we get so upset about something that brings them so much happiness? And this is where you just see these two completely different realities collide. For a dog, it's a mission, you know? They're on a quest to find the perfect mud patch to season their fur. But for us humans, it's just a tragic mess that usually ends with us yelling. The disconnect is just massive. And this is where Luna comes in with the expert rationale. See, it's not just random. There's a whole sensory experience to it. She calls it seasoning, which is just a fantastic way to think about it. It's a deliberate act of, I don't know, canine perfumery maybe? But, you know, as every single dog and dog owner on the planet knows, this joyful act of seasoning has an immediate and, from the dog's point of view, a very, very dreaded consequence. And yep, that consequence is what our hosts call the bathtub betrayal. The price they have to pay for a few glorious moments of muddy bliss is seen as this profound act of treachery. From their point of view, our whole bath time strategy isn't about cleaning at all. It's a three-step deception. Step one, it starts with the lure, right? A tasty treat. Then comes step two, the trap, where you're led innocently to the bathroom. And it all ends with step three, the ultimate betrayal, when the water turns on. And Luna, of course, being the rebel she is, has her own take on what happens when things go wrong for us. That frantic, wet dash through the house, that wasn't a mess. That was performance art. It's this reframing that makes their whole perspective so compelling. Okay, so the show isn't all about mud. They also tackle questions from listeners, which moves us from mud puddles to another huge source of confusion in the human-dog relationship, our weird obsession with canine fashion. So a listener, Max, sends in a question that, let's be honest, I'm sure every dog would ask if they could. It's simple, it's direct, and it's a very valid question. Why the clothes? Buddy's take on this is just wonderfully pragmatic. He kind of gets the human justification. We think it's cute. But on the canine side, it's all a cost-benefit analysis. Is the embarrassment of wearing a sweater worth the extra treats and attention? You know, sometimes the answer is yes. But Luna makes it very clear that there is a line. Sweaters might be okay for the right price, but boots? That's a step too far. It just goes to show that even a dog's cooperation has its limits, and the protest howl is basically their ultimate veto power. So after talking about mud and baths and doggy fashion, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, the show really boils all these different experiences down into one simple, core philosophy for a happy life. Their guide to life is all about finding joy in the simplest things. Chase your tails, sniff the breeze. According to them, these aren't just silly dog behaviors, they're actually profound acts of just living in the moment. And then there's the most important rule of all.
And it all comes back to this. This is the big one, the central thesis of the Barkcast. This simple, bold, definitive statement. Mud is love, mud is life. It's really all about embracing what makes you truly happy, no matter how messy it gets. So the Barkcast leaves us with one final, kind of provocative thought. After hearing their side of the story on treats and baths and everything else, we have to ask ourselves, who is really in charge at home? It's definitely something to think about the next time your dog is eyeing a perfect patch of mud.